4 lakh crore just vanished. In about 2 weeks' time, February 2026, Indian IT index has taken almost 10% hit due to one AI agent tool. Almost like 4 lakh 15,000 crore, which is equal to $50 billion, was wiped out from Indian IT stock market in the name of TCS, Wipro, Infosys, HCL, and many big companies. And it's not because of any recession, not because of geopolitics, it's because of AI. With the AI agent tool like Claude Code can easily do 40% of IT job, IT development job easily. So the Indian IT market, which is primarily billable hour driven, is crumbling. Welcome to Indian Lens AI friends. We are going to discuss about three topics: what has happened in the market, the disruptors like Claude Code and Claude Cowork, how they actually work, how the agentic AI model work, and finally the roadmap that every managers should follow in 2026. For Indian IT context, we know that Indian IT service is around $250 billion annual market, and out of this, 50 to 60% is coming from IT exports, and typically from US market. And almost roughly 65 to 70 lakhs people are directly employed, and many millions more are indirectly being supported by this particular service sector. So when we see that this kind of market correction, market compression is happening, this is clearly a threat not for just the people who are in the job, but for the entire society or the entire economy. Typically, we would say that the mid layer people who are at manager or senior manager level are dangerously positioned right now, because means 1 out of 3% in the list of layoff in this 2026 or in the near future. We have seen this, it's not wrong, because recently TCS has did this almost like 2% of their entire headcount, which is kind of 12,000. They did a workforce reduction. When you see the social media, it says it's just not 12,000. It is way more than 12,000, close to maybe 35 to 45, 40,000 people were directly laid off for the company. It's not just TCS, other IT major companies like other companies are also seeing this as an opportunity. Recently, I've seen that Google also announced a severance package for their employees, and it's not like they are doing bad. We see that companies are seeing a record profits in this, but they are slashing jobs. This is a jobless recovery powered by AI machinery or AI efficiency. So the Goldman Sachs report says that generative AI is raising the labor productivity by 15%. What it means that for traditional business, it means growth, but for service sector, the sector where India is completely dependent on less than 15% people to do the same work. Mid 2026, analysts estimates that 25% of all work, enterprise work, the white collar job roles can now be automated. So it's a big risk for the mid layer zone. That is why it is calling the dead zone for the mid level managers. So what's really happening in the AI market? So in 2026, we are entering into the AI agent era. That means it's not a chatbot, it's not a AI copilot. It's the pure play autonomous AI agent. So it's a autonomous system. We call it AI agents that can plan, that can execute, that can employ tools, and that iterate. The looping is very important for AI agent. Every time it executes, it can work with other agents. It can orchestrate. Earlier, AI was actually helping the developers. AI was helping the artists. Now AI is creating workflows. It is creating features for products. Real disruption here is it is not just coding. It is speed of value delivery. AI is way more ahead in this because no one can match the speed or the execution when it comes to AI agent. Agent work, how AI reasoning model work. You should watch this particular video where I have given a complete roadmap for a mid manager level. You should follow this roadmap. Now, in next couple of minutes, let's understand what is Claude Code and why it is calling the disruptor in the market. So it is the developer powerhouse. I'll explain why. Because it stays in the command line or in the terminal. So as a developer, you can do complex refactoring, debugging, and deep code analysis and many other things like document creation, report creation very easily using Claude Code. How you can do this, I'll explain in my next video, because there will have a lot of hands-on using how you can do Claude Code, how you can use Claude Code tool. Think of this as a smart agent lives in your terminal, and based on the human language, based on your ask, it will perform. Let's say as a developer, you can do code refactoring, API calls refactoring in all the codes. Let's say 10 files are there. You don't have to open each file, and you can easily do using a command in the Claude Code. As well as you don't have to do the README file. You have to generate the README files. You can ask Claude Code to generate the README files for you. So when the manual task or the very regular task can be handled by Claude Code, you can use that particular time for something else. Let's say you can use unit test generation or any other meaningful work in that time. If you're a manager, you should be using Claude Code. Let's say, for example, you should be using Claude Code as a audit tool or as a vulnerability check tool. And for a developer and for normal user, they can use it as a pair programmer. Let's say I want to do something, as a developer, you want to do something, you can ask Claude Code and Claude Code will do in your behalf. You don't have to open each file and do the things. So eventually it will cut down your day-to-day work or very tedious coding work, maybe 30 to 40% very easily. If you're regular in our channel, you should subscribe to our channel, because in my next video I'll going to explain how Claude Code actually works and you can do easily. Let's say you want to do some PDF aggregation. PDF files are there in your project folder, or let's say there are some image files in your image folder. How you can make a fun project using it, I can do we can do it easily in my next video. So stay tuned, guys. In our next video, we are going to explore many fun things using Claude Code. Claude Code is essentially used for building something, whereas Claude Cowork is for workflow. Let's say you have a lot of information spread across your spreadsheet, PDF files, emails, Excel spreadsheets. Now you can easily orchestrate all of them in one particular summarization using Claude Cowork. If you're a manager, this should be your go-to tool, Claude Cowork. You can do a lot of summarization. You can create a lot of reports using Claude Cowork. So what are the typical use cases for Claude Cowork? So if you are into legal or HR place, you should be using, let's say, to verify if there are hundred of contracts, you should be using it as a verifier. You should not have to read each and every document. Instead, since it has access to your file system, it can easily do it for you. If you are doing a market research analyst role, you can do 10 raw files, like pretty much what LLM does. But here it will do much more efficiently because it has the access to all the files as well as the Claude engine, the Claude LLM at the behind. It can orchestrate the entire thing into small agents, and it divides and it does it for you. If you're into hiring operations, you can give all the CVs or resumes to particular the Claude Cowork, and it can actually give you the draft or personalized response for you. So as a manager, it's a force multiplier for you. Claude Cowork runs for compliance check, generate compliance report. You should be using it. So now that we understand how Claude Code and Claude Cowork works, what is the survival guide for if you're a manager or stuck at somewhere in between? What are the survival rule for you? If you're managing people, stop managing people and start managing AI agents. You should have the understanding how agentic workflow works, how you can orchestrate a particular goal with a set of agents, maybe with a number of agents, and how you can define the agents with their roles, with their actions, what are the APIs and tools the agent should have the access. You should be having the entire idea. If you do not have that, check out our description. We have a workflow for you. And in this particular video, whatever we have discussed, you should check out this video where we have discussed the entire roadmap for 2026. If you stuck at the mid-level, what are the action you should do? With someone who needs it. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Thank you.